clutch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a taste. Got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 75. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Below, we fly that flow. Below, spread that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. Bounce that all. We fly it all. Funk it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split, it's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
What's up, friends? We're dropping frames all over the place, but we will prevail? I don't know. Maybe we won't. We'll hang out for a little bit, though. Kevin Sumner's here as the voice of God. Wait, I don't have that turned on. Hold on. There it is. Now it's turned on. What's up, Kevin? Uh-oh. Did I lose him? What's happening here? All right. I think he might have just stepped away for a second. You were just watching the Maxx Frames M2, and hopefully that was watchable, and not like dropping frames all over the place. But yeah, I was flying this thing hard today, like as if I was trying to break it, and the frame has started to taco a little bit. Like I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, the frame is starting to kind of do this. You can tell. There's Kevin. You can tell when it's on the desk. When it's flat, when I sit it flat on the desk here, it wobbles in one direction, but it doesn't wobble in the other direction. So one of the arms is starting to kind of do this. That's sort of what I was afraid of. I'm just going to keep flying it. keep crashing it. Technically, when the carbon fiber is not going the right direction and you have that issue, you can just bend the arm back and it'll be straight, but every time you do that, it gets a little bit weaker. But yeah, I'm going to keep going with it. It still flies awesome. And I'm having an absolute blast with it. So that's what you were watching. The setup is HGLRC 2 11,000s, old school Gemfan 2023 props. Those have been amazing with the T-mount screws. HGLRC AIO, and then it's a CO3 camera. It's an older CO3 camera. That was flying in like the dark. It was dark. In the chat, Hey Ryan was first, FizzPV was next, Level Up, Jimmy the Cow, Doc Holiday, Uriel, Sporny, Kevin Sumner, Mick Mucus, Doc Holiday, Sleepy CBR, Skull 901, Mike Owen, Frank Dr. Nicholas, The Madman, Kevin Sumner, Jimmy the Cow, Frank Fizz, the Bruce, Madman, again in all capitals, just lighting the chat on fire with screaming at the top of his chat lungs. The Ghoul, Uriel, CRFPV, Doc Holiday, Jimmy the Cow, FizzPV, doing a terrible job not repeating people's names. Denzel the Terrible, Fenbot, Level Up again. Fizz again. Zach is doomed by the bell. Really good bad. Got everybody. What's up, friends? Thanks for coming. Sorry for the delay. I was making a stink, as someone in the chat,
It's Jimmy,
funnily said to call it. Jimmy the Cow tagged me and said, "Moo, if you want to talk directly to me, type at CiottiFPV." Jimmy the Cow says moo, and then yeah, don't say take a shite. Say make a stink. And then we've got Mick Mucus saying, is blue hour synonymous with mosquito hour? Yeah, pretty much. Right now, though, is so nice. My day has been all over the place. I did not get shit for sleep. I woke up super late, felt like crap. Got up, managed to get a couple things done. Maggie came home. We spent a bunch of time hanging out in the front yard together, actually. She got a bunch of plants this morning, and so she was planting them. I was over in, actually I'm going to put some of the flight footage on right now. I spent like almost 2 hours, I think, in the garden with her. But on the other side of the garden where I usually fly, pruning. I pruned a bunch of stuff. Kevin, say something real quick so I can make sure this is working on this scene.
Okay, I'm saying something.
All right, it's good. Yeah, I pruned a bunch of the scraggle back over on the left side of the front. Sorry, the right side of the front door when you're looking at the house, where I fly a lot. And at some point here in this, I'm gonna fly over there. So this, you're looking at the Air75 V2 with a motor swap, basically, also a frame swap. CO3 camera, the new Air V2 canopy, the new AIO that's coming with the Air V2s. Early on here, so I'm pulling down the master multiplier because it's picking up like a weird oscillation at complete random. It's very, very weird. It went away on the third and fourth batteries that I flew. But I did take a log, and I'm going to look at the log and see what's going on with it. It's being very weird. Like, it'll start oscillating out of the middle of nowhere, and then it'll just go away. It'll be totally fine. And then it'll come back, and then it'll go away. It's really, really weird. It was doing it here. That's why I was... So the OSD is gone, so this is me doing the log. I'm currently logging it. So I'm trying to put the throttle to the point where it picks up that oscillation. Like I said, it's acting very weird. I have a feeling it's this newbie drone LiteAF frame. When we did the black box logs of the 3 different frames, this one was hands down the noisiest, and it required me to drop 2 notch filters on it to really get it under control. And I just think it's too flexible. I've put a whole bunch of batteries through it, though. I'm like maybe 30 batteries into this frame, and it's holding up completely fine. So I feel like I've durability tested this frame pretty good. I'm gonna take it out of this frame and put it into the Air75 II frame. That frame only had one resonant spike. I was able to get away with just the one notch filter. It's still got the really thin ducts, so it's still going to be really fast. The Mobula 7 V4 frame, I didn't have to do any notch filters. It was super clean in the logs, but it's got big, thick. Here you go. Here's me ripping it in and out of the garden. It's got a really big, thick duct on it, so it ends up being a lot slower. I'm really having a good time with this thing, even on 1S, because of the really thin prop guard. It's really fast and really slidey, and super, super, super fun. With these GEP-RC 1002 22,000s, it's got really good power. Not quite as much power as the 2S setups, but a frame that's better suited to sliding around outside. The 2S setups, I really like them on the Mobula 7 V3 frame, which again has big tall ducts on it. It makes it slower, it makes it more controllable, more accurate, but for like wailing around outside, the really thin ducts on the Air75 V2 and Cockroach 75 LiteAF, it's just a blast. I really wish that there was a 2S frame that had the really thin ducts like this, because that would be incredibly fun. I love that the thick duct slows it down and makes it more accurate, but the problem that I run into is that when it's windy, it gets pushed around like crazy by the wind. And so for like doing this stuff in the garden, the thicker duct would actually be really nice to slow it down a little bit. But for everything else, the thinner ducted frame is really cool. I can't believe how capable this 1S build is outside, and it's due mainly in part to this frame. I now that I have some bigger gaps in between these bushes, I'm going to start to try to, and this is me trying to figure out how to do these big throw over a couple bushes and then dive down kind of moves. It's going to be hard to learn this because there is still a lot of scraggle up high where I'm trying to throw it. So I got to really learn where all these little branches are here. But I was having a blast kind of doing this now that there's now that it's really cleared out in between each one of these individual little things in the garden. So get your asses out there with some pruning shears, and all I did was prune the bottom ones, right? Because I'm always low in there, so I just pruned all the bottoms of the trees out, and it made a massive difference. So yeah, pretty cool. This was I flew these batteries first, so this is not total darkness. But this is blue hour, like the sun is already down below the horizon here, so it's still pretty dark. I can't wait to fly this in the daytime tomorrow. But yeah, that was my day. Oh yeah, and then I made dinner for the family, and we all ate, and Maggie, Florence, and I went on a walk. It was a crazy day, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to go to sleep after the live stream tonight, because I could be up at 5 a.m. to get Florence on the bus, and then I have talk therapy at 1, so I got to be up at 11 for that. So it's chaos. And then we're going away on a little vacation to see my parents in Florida on Thursday. So there's not going to be a stream Friday or Sunday, but I should be back Monday night. We're driving home on Monday. So yeah. Should be a stream on, so we'll do we'll have Whoop Wednesday this week, and then I'll see you guys again on Monday. Hopefully that makes sense. What else is happening in the chat here? Denzel the Terrible says maybe Teddy finally snapped and ate CiottiFPV's face. He wishes he could. He was that tall. We also tied the dog to a tree up in the front with a long leash. I bought a like a 20-foot long leash for him to teach him to not run out of the front yard, and then I just forgot to teach him not to run out of the front yard. But yeah, I tied him to the crepe myrtle there, and he was running around with Maggie and I. That was super fun. Really nice day out. It was just so, God, it was like 70 degrees on the money, dry, no mosquitoes yet. Just like really nice day. And there it is. That's the those are the 4 batteries that I flew on this little bastard. Again, incredible what we can do on 1S outside nowadays. But like, look at this frame, man. Like, I'm not here. Look, I'll use my fucking pinkies. Like, I'm not putting any force into this to like bend this frame up. Like, it's absurd how floppy this thing is. But it is extremely light. Like, it's quite a bit lighter than the Air75 II. But when you've got a frame that's this floppy, it's going to have weird resonances, and I'm definitely seeing that. I'll be super interested to see what happens when I move this over to the Air75 V2. I have a feeling it'll be a lot better, but like, maybe it won't. There was a resonance on that frame on the pitch axis that we had to work to get rid of. If I can find the little dongle, I just found it. We can plug this in and take a look at the log that I took. Level Up says, will you start using contact enhancer on all your plugs? Absolutely. Will you test other contact enhancers? Probably not. Unless somebody's testing shows that they're significantly better. I think I'm good with this stuff. I have a feeling that it's all pretty similar. And this stuff seems to be pretty, you know, it looks like it's professional. You know, it doesn't like the other ones look like they're a little bit more, you know, they've got like funky colors on the front and shit like that. This looks like, you know, this looks like science. This is what science looks like. So, yeah. We'll see. I'm not gonna dive down the rabbit hole with the other stuff until someone else has shown it to be more work better than this stuff. And if it's like 1 or 2% better, I don't care. This is good enough.
I got a question about that.
Shoot.
If somebody wanted to get some of that contact enhancer, where would they find that?
It's over on the Etsy. I got it up just like I said I would after the live stream. There's a link in the description of the live stream to it, or you can just go to CiottiFPV and then Etsy. Oh my god, the OBS is red, so I think we're dropping frames again. Hey, it's back to green. There we go. Yeah, it's on there. It's on my Etsy store. CiottiFPV.com has a link to the Etsy store. It should be the newest item. And yeah, you can try it for yourself. What my workflow with it is basically going to be that every single time I unplug motors, I'm going to put it on the pins. They say that it will survive a couple plug and unplug cycles, but why bother? It takes no time to put on there. Whenever you unplug a motor, just reapply it to the pins. It takes, 10 seconds and away you go. And maybe putting it on multiple times will make it work better. Never know. But yeah, that's going to sort of be my workflow with it so that I never have to think like, how many times have I unplugged the motors on this AIO? I wonder if it's still kind of working. I'm just going to do it every single time. You take like this next time that I do it, I'm going to use a needle like instead of the fine tipped tweezers. And I'm going to see how a needle does, picking up a little bit of the liquid and then just smooshing it around. So yeah, it's really cool how little of it we need. We need like a nothing amount of it because those pins are so goddamn small in there, those little motor pins. Level Up with a $9.99 super chat. He says, thank you, just converted me over to Team Plugs. Nice, glad to have you, brother. Thank you for the support, Level Up. Where was I in the chat here? Level Up in the chat also says, oh no, we got that. Okay. Jimmy the Cow says flip book. Is that what everything looks like right now? Is a flip book?
It's the frames are dropping pretty good tonight.
Yeah, I can see it. 14.6%.
I should have robot.
I should have. Oh, really?
Yep.
Is it really robot voice? Are you kidding me?
You're fine right now. It's.
Okay,
I don't know about on stream, but I hear it on Discord.
Hang on. Let me see what's. Let me try something here. Hold on. Let me try something. Let me come up into here. And...
I don't have my voice mod running, so I can't play you the Jeopardy theme while we wait.
Alright, so let me just try this real quick. And I'm going to force quit out of this. And... Okay, let's see if that's any better.
Okay.
need to keep social stream up though. Okay, so this is good to go. What else is happening in chat? Uriel says, we prevail even after end death I find you. Indeed. Denzel the Turbo says, we don't make a stink, we record we record a log. Madman says, I always love the Cockroach frames even before the LiteAF. You know, the 65 LiteAF, I don't love that frame. The V3 is my absolute favorite. I'm pretty impressed by this 75 LiteAF, but kind of like the 65 LiteAF, it's certainly light as fuck. They you know, made something that is absolutely as light as possible, and I love that. That comes a bunch of floppiness, and you know, that's just sort of the way it is. It's great that we have it as an option, but I think that the Air75 V2 is plenty light, and that's going to be the direction that I sort of go. Let me get a couple batteries in the charger. I would like to fly a few inside here. We haven't done that in a while. All right, so I've got this little guy plugged in. Let's pull the shit log off of it and take a look. Let's shit log it. All right, so I'm gonna put this to full and charge, and there we go. All right, so we are plugged in. Here is how you pull black box logs and take a quick look at them, friends. Come on. Come on, Betaflight, you can do it. Don't let the computer's abysmal performance turn you off. It looks like I'm still dropping frames. Damn it. Hopefully it's not so bad that this is unwatchable. If it is unwatchable, tag me in the chat. Let me know, and I'll just stop live streaming. There's not a whole lot else I can do.
It's looking okay to me right now.
What is this OAHD helper that's eating up 5 gigs of memory? What in the world are you doing? Is that Betaflight?
Oh, it is a component
it just went away.
Of...
That was weird. OAHD helper. It disappeared. Now we're... Oh, no, it's dropping frames right now, though. I'm watching it drop frames. Why are you doing this to me? All right, so pull up black box, come in here. I've already got the log on the quad, and we're going to go to activate mass storage device mode. This is going to mount the flight controller as if it's an external hard drive, and holy hell, I've got a lot of logs in here. Why are there so many? What the hell is that about? Why are there 25 of these? They're probably all 20 to 30 kilobytes. Okay, 23 is 4.1 megs. That's the one, 23. So let's grab 23. This is the new BetaFPV AIO. A bunch of the new AIOs seem to have this issue where they create all these little logs that are actually like nothing. It's very odd. Okay, so we got that one 4 meg file off there. I'm going to assume that's the right one. Unplug the quad, replug the quad, connect to it in Betaflight, black box, and then just erase flash. This takes a little bit of time. While that's happening, take this log that you copied, click locked to unlock it, and then give it a name. So we're going to call this Air75 Weird Oscillation. All right, and then we launch Betaflight Black Box Explorer. It's done erasing, so we can disconnect and quit out of Betaflight. And Black Box Exploder is taking forever to launch. Jimmy the Cow says, when you do a bell swap on a 702 motor, does the kV of the motor change to the bell? Nope. Or is it the motor winding stuff that dictates the kV? Yep, stator dictates the kV. The bell doesn't really dictate anything. Technically, if you manage to find a bell that has stronger magnets, it'll make more power, but it won't make more kV. It might be able to, once the propeller is on, it might be able to spin the propeller-laden bell faster because it's making more power, but kV is calculated with no with no propeller, no load on the motor, and so the KV won't change regardless of the magnet strength, unless you go from like a really, really, really weak magnet to a really strong magnet. So we're going to come up here to noise. Well, no, let's just do the overview for a second. So this down here, this is the issue. This is that oscillation. And what I should be able to do is measure this from peak to peak. But I'm not great at doing that yet. And so let's just skip it for now and just look at the noise plots, because I have a feeling that this is going to show up pretty violently in the noise plots here. So we're going to come up here to overlay, and we're going to view the little analyzer window. Click on this to make it big. And so let's look at roll first. So here's the gyro scaled roll. This is there it is. This is the gyro scaled roll. This is what the gyro is seeing. And so this massive peak is obviously what's going on. The below gyro scaled roll is gyro roll. This is after the filtering, so this should bring that down a little bit. But what? Come on, there it goes. Wow, it actually brought it down a lot. So the filters are doing a lot, but they're not quite taking care of the whole thing. And so like we've got, here's our other two gyro notches. So we've got this gyro notch up here, 445, 400. That's squashing a big mountain of noise that we had. And then we've got lightning outside. And then we've got the D term notch that's from 190 to 155 to 190, and then it swings up. That's this little scary thunder. That's this little triangle here. It's hitting right around here. It's hitting that's probably below the on screen. There we go. So that's hitting from here to here. You can kind of see the little line. Here's the center, here's the high, here's the low. And so we've got another huge peak here that is not getting covered by any of these notches. What is happening is that the dynamic notch is trying to take care of this, and it's working. Like, this is what the dynamic notch is doing. And now here's without the dynamic notch. Ready? Good Lord. So yeah, the dynamic notch is doing a lot, but it's not doing enough, right? Because we still have these massive spikes all the way up into the red. So this is like, so it's given me max motor noise 120 hertz. This is like a low frequency vibration that is almost certainly a frame resonance. We can go to frequency versus throttle here. If you roll your mouse up here, there's these two little drop downs that appear. The default is just frequency, but if we look at frequency versus throttle, this is going to pull up the waterfall. And this is where, if you see a vertical line like this, that is a resonance in the frame or in the camera mount or an antenna or something like that. Like, this is not anything that, this is not a vibrating resonance here. This is a static resonance. A bent prop or a bent motor, it will be a diagonal line that you see, and we don't have any of them. The RPM filtering is doing a great job with any vibrations that are coming from the rotating assembly, the 4 bells and the 4 props, right? This is something else. This is, I'll bet that it's a frame resonance. I'll bet that this is just the wobbly frame, just wobble all over the damn place, because it's just, it's incredibly flexible, this frame, and I've got a really powerful set of motors on here. So I think with this particular build, this needs to go over to a stiffer frame, and that's going to be the Air75 V2. If I even so, having the AIO does actually stiffen these frames up, but just as an example, if I just put like a little bit of force into this, all right, like, yeah, okay, it twists up a little bit, right? I'm just putting a little force into it. No AIO to stiffen it, right? Just the raw frame. If I put the same amount of force into this guy, it's still plugged into the computer. Can I get just enough of it? Yeah, okay. So that's roughly the same amount of force. Like, I can't even, I don't even know how to put into words the difference in stiffness between these two frames. Like, it's ridiculous. The Air 75 LiteAF, sorry, the Cockroach 75 LiteAF frame has sacrificed a lot to get the weight down below this already very lightweight Air 75 V2 frame. So yeah, this thing needs to come out of this frame. I'm not even going to bother trying to PID tune this out or anything like that, or filter tune this out, mainly because the lower these vibrations are, the more latency you're going to add filtering them out, but also they're going to start to interfere with the natural motion of the quad. Anything below 200 hertz, the quad is going to move at like 180 hertz, 170 hertz, 120 hertz. And so when you filter down here, it's very latent, and it like weird stuff can happen because you're like filtering out frequencies that you might tell the damn thing to do. So yeah, this is no good. So maybe tomorrow night, maybe Wednesday, I will frame swap this, and I won't change anything. I'll leave everything exactly the same prop, same motor, same everything. I will just dump it into a different frame, and I bet you that goes away. So I'm thrilled that I was able to get this LiteAF frame going, because I think for lower powered builds where you're just trying to save every single fraction of a gram, this frame is really impressive. I battered the shit out of this frame for the last like week and a half, and it does not show any signs of any nonsense. Like, there's no little white marks being left in the plastic. So like this LiteAF 75 frame is really impressive, but there's only so much you're going to be able to do with a powerful setup. And the reason why I keep talking about the powerful setup is that most 75mm builds that are on 1S don't have I mean, there really aren't many motors that are a good match for this build. These Getbar C1002 25,000s are kind of the only ones. And when you have a really powerful motor like this, what that means is you've got really good response time. The motor has enough power to speed the propeller up and slow the propeller down very quickly. And when you have that mechanical system, if the frame is then starting to wobble around, the motors, the PID loop is running at like 4,000 or 8,000 cycles a second. At least 4,000 cycles a second. And so that vibration was 120 hertz. 120 vibrations a second is what 120 hertz means. So the PID loop can easily pick up on that vibration, and it can pick up on it early. So the PID loop is going to start to see that vibration, and it's going to tell this motor to spin up to try to fix that vibration. The motor's not going to be able to fix it. The frame is just wiggling, and the motors are actually going to make it worse in a lot of cases, because they're trying to fix it. Well, that like unloads it in the other direction, and then it builds up in the other direction. And so the PID loop just, it doesn't understand. That's why we have to do all this shit with black box and with, you know, manual PID tuning and with filter tuning and all that stuff. The PID loop has no way of understanding what prop wash is versus a really floppy frame just flopping all the flop bags in the flop house. So yeah, I think that this particular build with these crazy motors, it just needs a stiffer frame. If you've got a build like this on like 802s, you're probably going to be totally fine. This frame costs like $4. You should try it. You might as well. The battery could also be the problem. This battery bay is a little bit loose. But like, again, the frame is just so floppy that I don't think the battery would be it. But if I was going to stick with this frame, and if you are going to run this frame, you should take a little bit of E6000 and just make the battery bay a little bit smaller, because most 450 mAh batteries are going to just move around a little bit. As an example, here are the 480s, the Lava V2s, and if I hold this just right, you can see the battery moves around quite a bit. And so a little bit of E6000, you just get the fine-tipped E6000, you just put like a little bead of it on the inside there. When it dries, it's all rubberized, it's going to grip the battery, and you're going to be totally fine. So yeah, if if the weight difference between this frame and the Air75 V2 frame was more than, I think it's like 0.4 of a gram or maybe 0.5 of a gram, which is not nothing, but it's not enough for me to like keep pouring time into this LiteAF frame. I tested it. It's staggeringly durable. You should buy one if you're doing an order on a website that sells it, because it's $4 or $5 and that's awesome, and you should try it. And if it works great with your builds, score. It's the lightest possible 75 mil frame. But for me, with an overpowered already set up, I don't need that extra half a gram weight savings. I'm going to go to the Beta FPV frame, and then I can crash test that and see how that does, right? Like, I'm already super confident in how durable this frame is. Again, as I said, it's not showing any signs of what we look for, especially on like a black frame like this, is the plastic. There'll be like a crease in the plastic that'll turn a lighter shade, and that crease is where an improperly engineered frame is like dumping all of its energy. We used to see this on the old Air 65 and 75 frames right back here, right in the back. For whatever reason, when you would slam it into stuff, the energy would like wrap around and it would like focus on this little point in the back, and it would just fold, and then it would just break here and here over and over and over again. It would just break in these two spots. You could see it after a couple crashes. I don't see any of that with this frame, which is awesome. So what's happening, you know, a good proper engineered frame, when you hit stuff, that force is just getting spread like somewhat evenly around this frame, and so there's not one spot that's taking more of the energy than another. So yeah, super impressive frame, but not the right frame for this particular build. So I'll get that swapped out, and then we'll slam this Air75 Air75 V2 frame a bunch and see how it holds up. Cool. Feedback.
You sound good.
Awesome. Break Faded says, in the black box tab of Betaflight, if you set your debug mode to gyro sample, you can see how much each filter is working individually way better. UAV Tech has a video. That's pretty cool. And with the new versions of Betaflight, I believe the gyro scaled unfiltered comes through no matter what now. So you should be able to do that on the newer versions of Betaflight and not lose gyro scaled. You used to have to pick, and gyro scaled was always the right one to pick, because that's the raw gyro data that has the most value. But yeah, very cool. Debug mode to gyro sample. I'm gonna have to check that out in the debug plot instead of noise plot. Capital C says, have you ever had Betaflight change a setting for no reason? My third Kaio mini build was flying perfectly, no crashes, then Betaflight changed receiver provider from CRSF to SBUS. Every once in a while that would happen on certain AIOs when you would let the voltage drop down too low. But it wouldn't just be one change like that. It would like stop working and you'd have to reflash Betaflight. What my guess is going to be is that you went into the presets and you changed your preset, because that is always when exactly that happens to me. When I go in and I change from like the ELRS 250 to ELRS 500, for example, it will it'll change that receiver back to default, which sometimes is CRSF, sometimes it's SBUS. And so that's going to be my guess is one there. And right below your comment, it looks like Dr. Frank Nicholas is thinking the same thing. Did you maybe apply any presets in Betaflight? Yeah. Yukon FPV says, killed my last Chu-G4. That's sad, man. Hopefully it went out in a blaze of glory. You can still get them. Weebleed's got a whole bunch of them, so they're not gone forever yet. I wonder if Happy Model still makes them. They haven't said that they've stopped making them, but nobody ever seems to say when they stop making something. Uke, maybe try the Matrix V2. It's been really good. I've really pounded on the one that's in this and the one that's in this, and they have not skipped a beat. So maybe this is your chance to move into the future and try one of the new AIOs. I am not going to recommend the Crazy G473. because of my experience, and I just read a comment on the one of my old live streams where we were talking about that AIO of someone whose ELRS failed exactly like mine did. So it's not looking great for the Crazy G473. It looks like Happy Model's Cinewhoop Legacy is going to be the 2G4. It looks, and the X12, and maybe the X14. The X14 that I've got in this 2-edge setup has been awesome. So like 2G4, X12, X14 seem to be the Happy Model AIOs that are really, really good. A bunch of the Beta FPV Air AIOs have been a little rough, but it's looking like this new one is real good. So we're lucky, man. We've got more good electronics available to us than we've ever had. And the new stuff is getting black box, which is just absolutely amazing. You know, these manufacturers have a hard job, right? Like they have to squeeze everything onto these AIOs, and then they have to try to only charge $50 for them. And we just keep asking for more, right? We're asking for 12 amps instead of 5. We're asking for black box. We're asking for ELRS. We're asking for more milliwatts on the VTX. It's incredibly difficult. And like, you know, they can have some of these boards made and test them, but then when you make a couple thousand of them to, you know, to put out into the real world, and we start bashing them into concrete and metal and stuff, like it's incredibly difficult. The fact that we have so many good ones is kind of a miracle, if you ask me. CiottiFPV.com is where you go to support me. I do not monetize these live streams so that you don't have to waste your time watching commercials. Patreon is the best way to support me. Buy some stuff from my Etsy store. There's lots of cool stuff over there. There's a Teespring shop with lots of fun t-shirts. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me if you really want to learn a lot fast. And there's a ton of affiliate links. So yeah, do the thing and we'll keep hanging out together forever. Because this, I gotta figure out something better to say than that. Because
In the world.
Oh, it plays through my earpiece. I hit the soundbite for Clarkson saying "in the world," but it played here, so you guys couldn't hear it through the speakers into the mic.
In the world.
There it is. Thank you, Kevin. Let's work. I forgot to mention, tonight we're going to finish the Raxus. Away we go. We did a bunch of work on it yesterday after the live stream into today. I cut the other two motors up and got them all soldered up to this SkyStars ESC. I also put the battery lead on here. The battery lead exits through, so this is actually the top plate. This is a pusher build, so this is now right side up. And so the battery comes right up and out through here. There's a really cool little 3D printed piece to kind of nestle it in there. I'm not going to run it out through there yet because it's a pain in the ass to work on. It sits nice and flat like this. And so to run the battery leads this way, this is not usually the best idea. The voltage coming through the battery leads is a little bit noisy. And so you typically do not want your battery leads going across the ESC like this. I'm hoping, and I've heard that these SkyStars ESCs are very electrically clean. So I'm hoping that this is clean enough, and it's rated for 6S. I'm only going to run 4S through it, and we've got a capacitor on it. So I'm hoping that all those things will allow me to do this, because this is really slick. Since these exit there, this is going to be a really nice way to keep this cable run short and tidy. If when I get this thing in the air, I log it and there's a whole bunch of noise, this is going to be the first thing that I change. I'm just going to turn these guys around, send them out the front, and they'll come out here and make this angle, and then they'll go down there. But I figured it would be a good time to kind of try this. I have the whole month to get this and the other two builds up, so I've done this early enough. So yeah, these guys are all ready to go. This is all set up and ready to go. This top plate is actually kind of done, other than I've got to put 4 nuts on here, and I've got to run a battery strap in through this. And I've learned the hard way on the old QAVS Cine that you don't bolt the motor down before the ESC down before you do that. you pick up your ESC like this, and then you run this battery strap. And so I guess I kind of might as well do that right now. Where did this... Oh, I know where this just came from. This came from one of the standoffs here. So hold on, let me just... Yep, there it is. So if you're going to use nylock nuts as spacers, understand that the top of the nylock nut gets a little bit more narrow, and these rubber grommets will actually slide over that narrow part of the nylock nut. So get some little washers, get some little M2 washers, and just drop those on top of the nylock nuts, and then it'll make your life a little bit easier. Because the grommet will not do that. It will not go over the nut. Nobody likes it when their grommets go over their nuts. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
There it is. All right, so here's my existing one. This is the exact same strap setup that I'm going to run. This has worked incredibly well. So front. All right, so I need to feed this through this way. All right, good deal. And so we're going to use these guys for the elastic, but I always like to have at least one proper, strong Velcro strap going on here. So yeah, we can just feed this guy up and in here, and I'm going to make sure that I don't run the camera cable under this strap. So I want to make sure that I don't pinch the camera cable down here. So let's just lift that up a little bit. And then, all right, excellent. So we can get this strap going a little bit further here. And then just hold it down, feed it through a little bit more. And good deal. All right, so... pliers in here just to grab the strap. There it is.
And Zilla the Terrible says, CiottiFPV, could you solder the battery leads to the bottom of the board and run underneath?
Totally. That would be that would probably be even better, but I'd already soldered the motors down. This ESC does have double-sided battery contact. So yeah, that would actually be an even better solution. But we'll try that. It would be potentially the same issue though, right? It would be these battery leads running against there, but it would be cleaner. It wouldn't be up on top, and it wouldn't be potentially like pulling down on these motor wires. But like, you know, this is not a build that's really going to get crashed, you know, so it's it should be okay with this setup. And this will be more serviceable the way this is.
Denzilla also says, does this thing have underslung battery? Why strap on bottom?
So we are working on the top plate. This is a pusher. So we are sort of upside down, but not really.
And Alley Cat says, what's up?
Alley Cat's in the house. Is Ray's here as well? All right. So I got the little washers did not try to escape this time. Actually, there might not be. No, you know what? The battery leads going under the ESC, there wouldn't be enough room because the battery strap is down there. I would need to run longer screws here and more spacers to space this ESC up enough. I've pretty much eaten up all the room under the ESC with the battery lead. It's super hard to see it, but I mean, yeah, you can see, right? The battery strap goes down there, so it's eaten up that space between the ESC, which is totally fine. I've had that other setup like this, and it's been good to go for hundreds, if not thousands, of batteries that I've flown through that thing. So cool. We got the battery strap on here. We put 4 nuts on here, and then this top plate is done. And then we can work on the bottom plate, which just needs a receiver swap. I've got it set up right now as dual receiver, one Crossfire receiver on one UART, one ELRS 2.4 receiver on a different UART. We're going to be moving this thing over to Nomad so that it can connect to both at once and just magically swap between, so that I don't have to deal with any of that manual swapping nonsense. I'm going to use one of the extremely expensive but very nice XR4s because this is a build that's going to get flown in extremely noisy environments. I could just do the XR1 and manually switch it in the Lua script and just see which one performs better. But like, God forbid, you know, towards the end of the race when there's more people shitting all over the 900 megahertz band, if I'm on 900 and that gets like extra noisy, like Nomad just, it's just magic, right? Like having something that's actively connected to both and is going to, it's going to try to stay on 2.4 for the lower latency, but then if there's ever, you know, if that signal strength ever dips down, it can just all of a sudden take the signal from 900. Like, you know, that's magic. That is really, really cool stuff. I'm shocked that Crossfire hasn't, I mean, maybe they're working on something, but like, man, it's hard to argue with that. Like that is so much of a better setup than just picking one over the other. In like all scenarios too. Like, yeah, sure. In noisy environments like what I'm doing here, it's mega, but like all the time, right? Because like we've got Google Sidewalk now shitting all over 2.4. 900 has always been a mess because of cell towers. And so like, you know, you go out and fly somewhere, God only knows which of those bands is going to have more garbage on it. Like it's really incredible to have a system that's going to connect on both. So yeah, Nomad is pretty wild. Since there's no gyro on this ESC, it is very not important to get all four of these nuts tightened down the same amount. So yeah, this really doesn't matter. Just make sure that you have them tight enough where the ESC is not going to be wobbling around. And in my case, I'm good to go. So yeah, top plate is done. It'll look like this flying through the air. Whee! Whee! That's it. There you go.
Tell me you were a 7-year-old boy at one point without telling me you were a 7-year-old boy.
Still am, god damn it. All right, so yeah, the battery lead comes up here. And there we go. And then let's just get these wires. Wait, no, I think I want it to go out the other side, right? How did I have the other one? Yeah, I want it to go out this side. Okay, hold on. And basically, I always send the battery lead out the side that's towards me when I hold quads. I always hold quads like this. So this side is always towards me, so I always want the battery cable to be on this side. I also like to have the strap buckle on the other side so that I can lift the battery strap up like this, which does matter on these builds because I'm changing batteries 40, 50, 60 times per event on these. So that kind of, you know, seemingly silly stuff does make a difference. Although I do it on everything at this point. Like I always make sure the battery lead is on the side towards me because it's just so much easier. I will get some zip ties on here to keep these battery wires held down. But for right now, we can skip that. That's kind of a boring thing to do. All right, so there we go with that. And then really cool little 3D printed piece here. Let's go. So I want the ground wire to be on that side. Okay, so we take this like this, and then we just open the little bastard up. Come on now. Okay. And nope, didn't quite get it. Come on. Yeah, I got rabies. There we go. Okay. And there it is. And so it just On the old frame, I just took a file and knocked down all the sharp edges here. This little 3D print is super slick, and it just goes on there, and then it kind of hooks in. And I think it's got these two little slots in it. I think these are for putting like a little itty bitty zip tie, but yeah, just a super slick little print to hold the wire a little bit better. And so there we go. Okay. And so yeah, these motor wires will get kind of pulled away a little bit and zip tied down, and they'll be good. Yeah, there it is. Top plate pretty much done. Yeah, I guess you do a little zip tie here and around there. Oh, which will be cool. That'll hold the oh, that's awesome. That'll hold the motor wires down. Oh my god. Yo, that's so cool. Yeah, so a little zip tie through there will hold these motor wires down to the plate. That's really, really cool. I like that a lot. No, I won't do that. Let's just get this out of here. And as you can see, like this ground cable is a lot longer. That's okay, because the battery leads are going to loop around the back here. And so what that'll allow it to do is kind of find its little home here. That longer cable will have the longer run up on top. And so after a bunch of battery swaps, this cable will develop like this. I love when this happens. It'll just stay there. Like it'll just get used to getting cinched down, and it'll just be there. And that's what makes the battery swaps really quick. Also, I set this up with a little bit of extra lead length that I'd been using. Like the battery lead was absolutely the perfect length, which every once in a while would be kind of annoying. And so I learned from my lesson on that. This was perfect and it was fine, but every once in a while it'd be like, I wish there was just a little bit extra. And so, yeah. You learn every time you build. So that is good to go. Cool. Bottom plate. Flight controller with just a tiny little bit of a burn mark on it. And then, like I said, 2 receivers. Crossfire in the rear, ELRS 2.4 in the front. I'm gonna remove them both, and then I'm gonna put the XR4 onto where the Crossfire was. Not that it really matters, but Alley Cat says, "What's up?" He is. Jimmy Sprinkle says, "Yo, the M2 washer over the nylon nut, genius. My grommets stay mushed. Going to try the washer. Thank homie. You're welcome, brother." Yeah, on you can get really thin washers. Really like infinitely thin metal washers, like a bag of 100 for $1 or whatever on eBay and Amazon. You'll never use all of them, and they're just perfect for that. They don't increase that height, and they keep that grommet from getting all mushy. So I'm going to steal from another build, from one of the other builds here. That's the DBR4. I'm not going to steal that one. That's too many antennas. Here is the AIOs Cine 3. This is the XR4 that I'm going to steal. And I just stepped on something that felt like a screw. I don't think it actually was, though. Once this build is done, next one's going to be an AIOs Cine, either 3.0 or 3.5. So, yeah, this month is going to be filled with and that's going to be on 04 Pro. This guy is on 03 because that's what this frame is designed for, and I don't think that the 04 camera would even fit on this. But that's okay. This build is like the backup build. This is also the test the RF situation build. This is not going to get hopefully this is not going to get flown on the actual live streams themselves, on the live broadcasts themselves. That will be AIOs 3.0 and 3.5 for bigger propellers, more efficiency, and hopefully better handling in the wind. One of the biggest problems in the live broadcast world flying these little prop guarded rigs is that we just get obliterated by the wind. And it's not like we can run this footage through GyroFlow, right? Like this is going live to a TV truck, getting sent out to outer space. And And so, yeah, we have to stay flat. And when you fly flat and there's a crosswind, it gets interesting. So here we go. This is an XR4. We've got dual band antennas so that it can swap back and forth between 900 and 2.4 on either or. Technically, I could replace these with one regular 2.4 antenna, one 900 antenna, but I've never seen anywhere where that it allows you to just say, hey, this one is only 900, this one is only 2.4. There might be some way of doing that, but from what I've seen, you just turn Gemini on or you turn it off, and I believe that it expects the dual band antennas. If there is a way of doing that, I would love it. I would love to grab these antennas off here, and what I could do is just put a Crossfire 900 Immortal T on one of these, and then just put a little Immortal T 2.4 on the other. But I would have to be able to tell this thing, yo, only do 900 on this side, only do 2.4 on this side. In theory, I could just do that, and then it would get such shitty signal quality from the 2.4 on one side and from the 900 on the other that it would pick, but I'm not going to test fate. I'm going to set this up as it is here and let Gemini do its thing. Go ahead, Kevin.
At pointing out, I think you misspoke earlier. Nomad switches between ELRS and Crossfire ? I thought it was 2.4 and 900 ELRS.
Sorry. Yep, that's it. Switches between 2.4 and 900, both ELRS. Which, you know, what's interesting about that too is that ELRS 900 should work better than Crossfire 900 because it's got smaller packets and it's a lot newer and all that jazz. So yeah, but yeah, ELRS to ELRS. ELRS will not do anything with Crossfire.
Nathan Adams says, I made a set of 04 TPU plates for the front of the Raxus.
No way. Oh my God. Very cool. Well, depending on, so Anniston, Alabama, second weekend in April will be the first time that all of this stuff gets properly tested and used. And Anniston is always very windy. And so if the 3-inch and 3.5-inch builds are, for whatever reason, doing worse in the wind than this Raxus, then I will be bugging you for those for those TPU plates, because they're a bigger propeller is a bigger parachute. It very well might catch more of the wind. I don't know. The AOS Cine 2.5 frame is a much more aerodynamic style. It's not double top and bottom like this. It's just one single carbon fiber loop around the outside of the propellers. So I have a feeling that they will be better, and then having the bigger motors, bigger props, they'll be certainly more efficient. But yeah, we'll see. It's you can theorize about this stuff all you want. It's once you actually get these things up in the air that all kinds of weird stuff happens. All right, so let's get these guys out of here.
Brandon Beans is in the chat. Fun fact, Express LRS started as a 900 megahertz protocol only. 2.4
Really?
gigahertz was added later.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
They used the original thing that they flashed was the R1 or RM1 module R9 from what's that company
from FR Sky?
FR Sky, yeah, there you go.
Wow, I'm gonna have just barely enough wire length to get this to the back, and now I got to figure out what to do with the other one. I think I'm gonna put the other one in the front. But yeah, man, Jesus, this is just barely long enough to reach there.
That's what she said.
Indeed. Yeah, it'll be strapped up right there on the front, so we'll be able to get that there. The other option is that, and what I would kind of like to do is get the other one in the rear at a 45-degree angle. It would be like that. It would be at a 45-degree angle like that, so that when I'm nose down, it's pretty much vertical. But we'll see. These are M2 standoffs, and there aren't many 3D print files for these. I might have to bug the shit out of License to Drive to see if I can convince him to convert. He's got a really nice 3D print file to hold antennas at a 45-degree angle on a single standoff. So I'll probably be bugging him to see if he can convert that from M3 to M2.
Jimmy the Cow says, Ciotti HD0 V1 goggles, can I leave battery plugged in and just turn off the switch, or will it slowly drain the battery to death?
Nope, that's what I do. It's totally fine. I have not noticed any issues doing that.
Yep, it's a physical disconnect inside, so you're good. Finbot FPV says, are you using the stock RX antennas on the Nomad module?
One of them, yes, and then I did the T antenna on the other one. So it's one of the linears and then one T antenna. The T antenna is sideways, and then the linear I run straight up and down. Here we go. Desoldering crossfire. Oh, it feels good. It always feels good to remove crossfire from yet another one of my quads.
I was so glad when I took my last crossfire receiver off.
Yeah,
it was such a good day.
Used to work. I mean, it used to be the best that we had, but time has marched on. And I feel like all I hear about are complaints about tracer fail-safing.
I had the fail-safe bug that just kept
awesome.
fail-safing on crossfire.
Right.
Awesome. And then I think the thing that pushed me over the edge is that I had a couple of receivers lose bind, and I was like, I gotta find something better.
The fucking binding thing was just mine would lose bind every like 2 or 3 times that I would fly. Absolutely unbelievable. It was just like
so
constant.
Infuriating.
I would show up to a gig after having tested it like the day before, or sometimes the same day, and I would have to dig in there to get to the bind button to rebind. Like, what Mickey Mouse shit is this? Come on, man. Just insanity. All right, we're going to use a little wire bundle that Radio Master gives us. And so we're going to run it like that. And then, so this fella is going to be, I think there. What's the bottom look like, though? So the bottom doesn't really have anything sticking up. I would like to run it on the other side of the battery lead, though. So if this is sitting like this, the battery lead's going that way. So I'm going to run it out this side. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's going to go there. So that these antennas can go down that. Okay, cool. So this cable is going to go across and then over, because I'm going to shrink wrap it to this so that it runs into the wires. So this is going to do that, basically. So we can cut this around here, and that should be plenty. All right, let's solder to the receiver first. And I'm going to keep trying to do as much work as I can on this silicone mat, so that anybody that is not willing to spend $80 on an OmniFixo can pick up a couple tips and tricks here and there, maybe. So we've got ground, 5-volt TX and RX, and I've got black, red, green, and white. If I just fan these out, it kind of looks like this is fine. Black, red, and then we're going to go green, white. All right, cool. So let's get this tinned up first. Go ahead, Kevin.
Danzilla Terrible, just want to clarify. You are running the Nomad dual 1-watt Gemini module and the XR4 RX.
That's it. And then I do have one of the DBRs, but I'm going to put that on a Cinewhoop. I'm not going to put that on these rigs. That's the one that has 4 antenna ports, 2 900 and 2 2.4s. I don't want to be putting 4 antennas on this thing, though.
XR4RX is actually incredibly difficult to say.
Right. So we got some flux on those pads first. That's going to make sure that we get good heat transfer and everything stays nice and clean. And now we are just tinning these pads. These are double-sided pads, so a bunch of the solder went to the bottom. I'm just going to actually flip it over, and I'm going to tin the bottom as well. Just to make sure that there's plenty of solder on this thing, on these pads. Okay.
Nbot didn't tag you, but has a good question. So does it matter what side you run either antenna on the TX module?
On the transmitter module. On Nomad? Are we talking about Nomad here?
That's what I assume. They didn't give context.
If we're talking about Nomad, then no. Each channel is dual band. So with Nomad, these chips here, these 2 big square chips, these are dual band. Each one of these chips are 2.4 and 900. Like that is basically the Nomad designation, because there's 4 different Nomad receivers. There's one that's like just 2.4. There's one I think that's just not. No, there's one with this. Yeah. There's one with a ceramic antenna that's only 2.4. There's this one that's dual everything, 900 2.4 on both. And then there's a diversity one that's not Nomad like this, but it does have the double. And then there's a single antenna one. And those are the XR series. XR is basically just referring to these chips, these dual 900 2.4 chips. I find it very weird that the XR2, I believe it is, has a 2.4 ceramic antenna. It still has this chip on it that can do 900, but they don't put another antenna. It's very, very weird. I guess they're doing it so that if you want to use this chip, you're using this chip on everything. But I don't quite get it, why they're doing that. The other ones that make sense, the XR1 is just this cut in half. One single antenna. It's a dual band antenna, dual band chip. You go into the Lewis script, you tell it you want 2.4 or 900, super slick. And so like that would totally work for this setup. I could get there, fly it around, see what the the link quality looks like on 2.4, switch it over to 900, see what the link quality looks like on 900, and then pick whichever one's stronger. But like I said earlier, as these races go on, more and more people show up, and people be carrying their cell phones, and the RF environment gets really, really noisy by the end of the event. It's kind of wild.
Brandon Beans dropping knowledge. Ideally, you put the pairs of antennas 90 degrees of each other on both transmitter and receiver.
Yep. That's why I got that T antenna. I mean, I didn't have to get the T antenna for that, but yeah, the T antenna being horizontal and then the little rubber ducky being vertical. And then, yeah, that's ideal on this. I'm going to try to get that set up on this. One antenna up and down, the other antenna left, right. That way you're just killing as many of the nulls as possible. But we'll see. Having that antenna up and down is admittedly annoying as hell when you're traveling with the gear, because it catches on everything. If I can get it at a 45-degree angle, that is a lot better. But having it just run perfectly straight up and down is super annoying. And to be honest, it doesn't make much sense. Like, having it running perfectly straight up and down, it's only going to be its strongest when you're hovering. And, we don't hover all that often. And so getting it at a 45-degree, having one horizontal left to right, and then one at a 45-degree angle, in my opinion, is absolutely the best way to do it. And that's what you see on all the long-range rigs. You see a vertical at a 45 and then a horizontal. The horizontal, they typically run off the front so that it's stronger when they're coming home. I don't know if I'll do that.
Deans also says, with true diversity, you run Gemini mode. If you have a single antenna or fake diversity, which by that I think he means antenna diversity, then you run the Nomad in antenna switch mode, which uses both antennas on the same sub-frequencies without Gemini.
There are so many different Gemini modes. It is so intimidating and like confusing. I asked a couple questions on the Gemini Discord about it, and like the main gist that I got for my use was just to put it to Gemini X, I think it's 150. It's whatever I have it set at. But boy, there are a lot, because there's a lot of different options, right? You can run like both on 900, both on 2.4, 1-and-1, switching. Like, it's really cool. There's so many options. I wish somebody would put out like a big half an hour long video though, diving into each one and being like, you know, this is what this one does, this is what it's best for, this is what like that would be really, really cool. Because right now there doesn't seem to be like a great source of all that info. Even when I was posting on the ELRS Discord, there wasn't like, it wasn't like, you know, this is definitely, it was like, this should be good, this should be good. Whenever the shoulds come out, I'm like, all right. But I mean, it makes sense. It's brand new. Gemini is brand new, and there's the modes are getting tested like now. You know, like this is what happens with open source stuff, is that we do the testing and give all kinds of good feedback from real world scenarios.
I mean, it's not exactly new anymore. We're in our, second season with Gemini?
Hasn't really been out that long, Jesus.
Yeah, I think it released like early last year.
I don't see many people using it, unfortunately. Which is kind of mind blowing to me. I thought it would be everywhere in the professional spaces, but those guys a lot of them are sticking with Crossfire, which I don't blame them. Like, it does work most of the time. It's annoying as hell, but if you get a good version on it, it seems to not be nearly as much of a nightmare with the losing its bind issues. But I don't know. I thought everybody would be all over this.
There is still a bit of, it's what I've always run, so I'll continue to run it.
Yep.
They don't want to mess with anything.
That scares me about, like, you know, moving to this. But I have used this a bunch, and so I do trust it.
Danzilla says on the Radio Master site they don't mention 900 for that XR2, so I don't think it can do it.
Yeah, it's very weird. It definitely uses this chip though, but like they don't have it set up for any kind of an external antenna. So in theory, I guess you would have to break the ceramic antenna off and then solder a 900 tuned antenna to that, which, like, you know, they're not going to encourage or whatever. I don't get it. I really don't understand why that receiver exists.
I'm not sure, but I think that the XR2, the newer chipset is somehow cheaper than the older chipset.
It is. It absolutely is. Yep, that XR2 is cheaper than their other 2.4 ceramic antennaed jib jab. So that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Like, well, it's cheaper. Let's just do it. Like, we'll just throw this cheaper chip on it, and away we go.
Well, if you're a racer who's destroying quads every weekend and going through parts, and you only need that ceramic antenna because you're flying 150 feet from yourself at max. Sure.
Agreed.
Let's see. Jimmy the Cow says, joking when I say this, quote, time to run fiber optic cables at the events, quote, joke, exclamation point. But RF says moo.
Moo indeed.
Anzilla says, you are making me spend money again. ...
On Nomad. It's pretty fancy, man. It's pretty cool stuff.
Dan, I don't even run Nomad. You're fine.
The only thing that's annoying about it, I will admit, is that the module does not have a screen. I can't wait for them to come out with a module that has a screen on it. I really prefer being able to physically push buttons and make changes. when I'm going into the Lua script.
You used to rail so hard against black box tuning, and now you're doing that. Maybe one day we'll get you doing Lua scripts as well.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? With a physical screen on the module, if you're in the air and you have a spotter, the spotter can make changes on the fly. And like I've had that happen before. I've had Patrick literally like change the transmit power for me while I've been flying at one of these live events. So like and then the other thing is the bind mode issue, the ELRS bind mode weirdness, where the Lua script won't trigger the bind mode. Having the physical screen and just hitting it on the buttons makes it so much easier with tiny whoops. So I have the Luas all set up, and like when I have to use them to change it into Gemini mode. And so the Lua is totally fine, but yeah, you can't get at the Lua when you're in the air, which is like, obviously super, super, super rare, but like there could certainly, like, what if you're doing a long range mission and you're 5 miles away and you realize like, oh shit, like something's wrong, right? Like I remember that happened in a Rotor Riot video ages ago. I think it was Tommy was like really far away, and he remembered that he was on, I don't know, locked into 150 hertz instead of 50 maybe. And he just held his transmitter up a little bit, and somebody flipped him to 50 hertz solid, and all was right with the world.
Yafu says Ciotti finally did an order from Newbie Drone and ordered 10 Cockroach V3 black frames because the black PP is sold out literally everywhere. I didn't know you could sell black. I didn't know you could sell PP.
Well, Yafu's in Asia somewhere. All bets are off over there, I think.
Japan, if I recall correctly, because they're out there with Tokyo Dom.
That's right. Yep. So cool. So jealous.
Danzilla says, Ciotti and Kevin, I went 7 kilometers out and 2 kilometers up past last summer on 2.4 diversity. Prob don't need MOMAD, but damn, I love my quad and I give her nothing but the best.
Yeah, like that's the end all be all. Is just like, yeah, Christ, FR Sky should be able to go those distances, but like, do you really want to lose an entire quad finding out the hard way, right? Like, obviously not. And this stuff it's like Nomad's not that expensive, right? So it's like you kind of might as well. All right, so white is RX here, so white is going to go to TX there, so white is going to be the first one that I solder up, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit shorter so that the wire doesn't get all boogered up.
Bean's just knocking it out of the park tonight. He says, I run 1,000 milliwatt dynamic power all the time. Changing some settings like packet rate can cause a failsafe on ELRS, so watch out.
Yeah, that is sketchy to be changing stuff on the fly.
Says, well, ELRS4 fixes a lot of confusing settings. With ELRS4 and Nomad, just set either X150 for range or K1000 for low latency.
Nice. K1000, eh? Very cool.
Yeah, I've been flying 250 hertz, and it's way more than I can feel. 150 was always fine.
I gotta retin this white wire here, and then we'll get it soldered up.
Jimmy the Cow says, Ciotti bought my HD0 goggles because latency gate. Now all my video files are .ts. DaVinci Resolve doesn't like it. Do you use Handbrake or something to edit?
Nah, man, go in the menus and you can change it. It's I forget where it is in the menus, but you'll find it.
Yeah, it's there's a format option. You can switch between TS and MPEG 4. However, there is danger here. If you don't want to have your videos potentially corrupted, you have to leave it as TS and do the post-processing. If you're okay with potentially losing some DVR files, then you can switch over to MP4. MP4 is not resilient to sudden cuts out of think signal was one say in one case, but definitely if the goggles get unplugged or run out of power or whatever, the TS files are literally for streaming over broadcast television. Is what they were designed for.
It's a shame that the TS files are such a pain in the ass to live with. God damn, it's just so annoying to have. I tried to leave it in TS because it's really nice if you just shut the goggles off or whatever. But like, my God, the workflow with TS is just very annoying because you got to run everything through Handbrake basically.
Yeah, I have a is it a script that does it with FFmpeg from the command line? So it just like I give it the directory full and it does them all.
That's pretty cool.
I got a super chat.
Oh, Jesus. From Skizix, right?
Yes. Get a job with a surveying company and wanna be their drone guy, but it's different from hobby FPV. Should I grab a Mavic and FPV goggles for fun? Other advice?
Yeah, surveyor work, you're going to have to get a Mavic, I think. I don't think you can do that with FPV, really.
Yeah, you definitely need something that you can fly missions with.
Right. Get a used Mavic. You can get a used Mavic, like a 2 Pro or something like that for not a ton of money. And then if it doesn't work out, you can sell it for what you paid for it. And yeah, you can make some money doing that. There is a ton of money in surveying. You'll be bored to tears, but yeah, that's a good move to be their inside person. Because they're probably hiring, so they're probably hiring out at this point. And so if you can come in and just be like, oh yeah, I can do that easy, that's going to be mega.
They're talking about TS, which Frank Nicholas points out is transport stream. It's the container that the MPEG 2 lives inside of.
Yeah, TS is really nice. Like, not having to worry about the files if you pull the battery or whatever is really, really cool. But god damn, it comes at such a cost.
You can FPV says TS has saved my DVR so many times. Same here, brother. I have lost quads in the woods, and when they suddenly disconnected, especially in the early days of HD0, it was the other format would ruin them, and the TS files would go all the way to the end.
It is cool stuff. Red, green. All right, here we go. Now I'm good. Just had to get those wires scooched around a little bit. Okay, here we go. Green onto R1.
Danzilla says, I can't believe Ciotti just said that would be mega.
Is that bad? Isn't that something that cool people say?
Seems like one of those things the kids say that would annoy you.
Some stuff doesn't annoy me. It's weird. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it sometimes.
Bet? Skibbity?
Oh, no. I mean, that shit is obviously just dumb. Sometimes it's I'm typically surprised how much stuff annoys me. I wish it wasn't so much. But, you know, whatever. It's all good. I speak the Queen's English. What can I say?
No, you don't.
No, don't. I would love to, though. I would love to move to England and sound like I'm on an episode of Top Gear at all times.
We should all speak broadcaster English.
Oh, God. That is the dream. All right. So these wires, these little 30 gauge wires, you're always safe to solder going in like this because they're not battery wires, right? There's only 5 volts flowing through it, so there's no sweat. I was talking a little bit ago about with the ESC, how it's kind of a bad deal to solder wires going inwards and have them run across. But yeah, that's only with battery wires because they're carrying all that dirty, dirty voltage. They're a bunch of dirty bastards, those dirty battery wires. Dirty. Okay, so this is going to sit like this. These wires are probably going to get tucked under like this. I might even put them literally under the flight controller. Maybe not, though. And then this receiver is going to get held in place right exactly there using this little jib jab and this little flip flop. This is a little 3D printable wire tie thing. This guy goes through that guy and it makes a nice little loop. These are really, really cool. Which one's longer? Same length. Okay. And so now we're going to get a little bit of shrink wrap on this guy. Sorry, shrimp wrap on this guy. I can turn the soldering iron off. There is no more soldering needed on this build. That's pretty cool. Shrimp. Where are my shrimp at? Let's see some shrimps in chat. Why do you chat people not put little shrimp pictures every time I say shrink wrap? Isn't that what you people are supposed to do in chat? Wait, you're all old people like me, and so you don't know that. This is me telling you that. When someone on a live stream says anything that can even remotely be emojied, you're all supposed to put that emoji into the chat. That's how live streams work. Now you know. Now you know. So let's see the shrimps. Let's shrimps up for shrimp wrap. It's shrimp wrap time. Let's see it. There it is. Kevin Sumner's is. Oh, look at that. Jimmy the Cow put, what are those? Basted? No, not basted.
Fried.
Fried. Jesus Christ. I went from basted to breaded. I was getting there.
Something you get from Long John Silver's.
There it is. Long Dong Silver's, title of my sex tape. I'm going to use not that shrimp wrap.
Jimmy the Cow put some really funny looking shrimp in.
Shrimps up. Oh boy. Cow shrimp. Bovine shrimp.
And now I want sushi. It's 11:45 here.
Yafu says, tell the people about shrimp wrap. Has anybody in chat not heard me explain the origins of shrimp wrap? I try not to tell it. I don't want to bore people, so I try not to tell it too often. But if anybody in chat doesn't know the origins of shrink wrap, I will. I'll hit you with some knowledge. But there's got to be somebody that doesn't know the origins of where shrink wrap actually came from. It's little known. It's something I had to do. I had to do my own research. God, what a bunch of morons, these fucking people. I do my own research. Oh yeah? Where you do your research at? Fisher Price? Yeah, if anybody wants the... Oh shit, Skesix doesn't know it. Alright, so Skesix, I'm going to drop some proper knowledge on you here. I don't know what I don't remember how long ago it was, but in maybe like, I don't know, let's say like the 1800s maybe. The origin of shrink wrap, we call it, in America, we call it shrink wrap. But overseas, they actually, in some cases, they still call it shrimp wrap because initially it was before this nice synthetic kind that we now have, which is great, and PETA is very happy with. It was actually originally made from the exoskeletons of soft-shelled shrimp, and so in Asia they realized that they could take these shrimp and then they would rip their exoskeleton, and so that's what got PETA involved, of course, you know, because that's got to hurt. And they would remove their exoskeletons, and then the poor shrimp would die, right? Because it's got no shrimp wrap on it left. And then they would wrap early days electronics in it, and yeah, those are the origins of shrink wrap. And so I usually call it shrimp wrap as an homage to, you know, the actual origins of it, and as a just to pay homage to all of those poor little shrimp that gave their lives for our electronics, for our early days electronics in the 1800s. All those electronics in the 1800s, all those circuit boards.
Remember the origin of Long John Silver's, right?
No, I don't.
So On John Silver's, he was originally a captain, and he got into the shrimp wrap business originally. And as kind of a side hustle, because he had all these shrimp that he couldn't do anything with, he would deep fry them and sell them out of his shop. Well, that took off way better than his shrimp wrap. He couldn't compete with the other shrimp wrap vendors, and so that is how he got into. It was deep fried shrimp, and then he'd catch other stuff on the boat, and he'd fry that up and sell that too. So there you go. Long John Silver's was originally a shrimp wrap manufacturer.
Hold on, I got the perfect thing for this. Hold on. I'm relaunching Brave. There's 23,000 dropped frames, so it wasn't Brave that was causing the problems. To the pioneers of electronics, Sporny says, indeed.
Absolutely.
Come on. Work. Oh, come on, computer. You got this. You can do this. I have faith in you. Oh, God. Oh, God. Hold on. This will be worth it. I promise. It won't be worth it. It's not going to be worth it, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm already invested. I hope it sends the audio over. Please work.
Nice.
All that just for that.
Some things are important.
If I was good at live streaming, I would figure out a way to like push a button and have that pop up. But I'm not really all that interested in getting better at live stream. Like, I'd rather focus on FPV stuff than like a fancy live stream. Like let's be real. None of you guys are 14-year-olds. You're not really gonna care about the live stream being fancier. I don't think. You more care about which frame catches on fire when you hammer it into the concrete the 7,000th time. I didn't realize that goes into the what's that? The NBC logo or the CBS logo?
NBC logo.
I didn't realize that. That's
yeah.
That makes me sad.
Or it was an NBC thing. Hey, look, it could be worse.
Ugh, could always be worse.
Could be a certain other
faux
news organization.
All right, I'm gonna leave this build here. It's done. The soldering's all done. I'll get it smacked together and away we go. I'm gonna fly a few batteries. Oh look, there was shrimp wrap in here. Look, it actually even says it's Radio Master. They know what's up. They have paid homage to the shrimp wrap. It even literally says it even says even on the card that comes with the Radio Master plus shrimp.
Perfect print right there.
See, it's. Can I help you, Teddy? You've brought me a toy.
The people are going to demand their cute dog homage.
Oh yeah, we flying. We got 4 batteries. We are going to fly the. Oh yeah, I switched the slipping bell off on this. This is going to its new home to be smashed and thrashed, and so let's send it off in style with a couple of quick batteries on it. This will be the last time that you see this little guy. This is the Mobula 6 2024 V1 with VCI 0702 30,000 kV motors. This is pretty much a full Ultimate Freestyle Cinewhoop, just not with the 2G4, with the lighter weight Super X, I believe it's called, right? Super X. So yeah. And also, let me make sure that it works. Because I did that bell swap, and I've never bell swapped these VCI motors before. Boy, do they use a tiny E/C clip. It's just absurd how little it is, but can still totally get it. I was still absolutely able to get it removed and reapplied and let dry. Battery warning. Connect, ELRS, you bastard, connect. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. The lenses on these goggles are filthy. Oh no, that's not a great sound. Let's go into... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's happening? Is it hitting on the battery? I hope.
You're on crash flip mode. Did you mean to be?
There we go. Yeah, I want to spin these motors up and see what's hitting. Okay. All right, we're good. Why is that? What's that noise you're making? What's that noise you're making, little friend? Who's making that noise? Not you. Not you. It's you. What are you hitting on? It's both left side motors. Stop it! Stop making that noise, you jerks. I think they're hitting on the... Yeah, they're hitting on the frame a little bit. So let's just pull them out. It'll be fine. All right, let's try that. All better. All better. Oh, nope, still hitting a little bit. Where are you hitting now, you jerk? So when this happens, you just spin the propeller around. Just look at the gap between the propeller and the duct, and you'll see that it's getting too close in one spot. It's getting too close on the outside, so then you just take it and just, you know, plastic is pretty malleable. And now we should be all right. Yep, now we're good. Ooh! Ooh, it's hot! Oh, God. Immediate crash. Let's give it a second to cool down. It feels terrible right now. Cool down, you.
Yafu says, months ago I did an order from Cinewhoop, and they sent me an order that was one number different. Then I shipped it back, and I still haven't had my original order shipped.
That is annoying as hell.
Anzilla the Terrible says, Ciotti, you need to learn how to use the U key on your keyboard before you can say you use the Queen's English.
What's on the U key? I don't get that joke.
Well, it's for spelling things like color and behavior.
Oh, right. And aluminium with extra letters for no reason.
Like, aluminium is correct. Us American cheeseburger eating fatso Americans are wrong.
I disagree. I think that if you remove letters, then you win. The last thing we need is more letters. That's my stance. I'm sticking to it.
Okay. You can always just call him Al. Nyafu says,
my ass.
CiottiFPV. I had motor spacers and other stuff I really needed for builds, so I'm kind of SOL. Jesse Perkins better do something about this soon. He was helping me over email, but still hasn't shipped.
Yikes.
Whole bunch of people talking about shrimp.
Here's what I'll say. I ship maybe like 1 or 2 orders a day on a good day on Etsy, and it's challenging. So cut in as much of a break as you can. It is tough to ship stuff all day every day, and like I can't imagine how many orders him and Weebleed get. The fact that they do as good of a job they do is pretty amazing.
Dagul put some nigiri style
stuff.
sushi in chat, and I'm hungry. Oh my god, I'm so hungry.
There we go.
I feel like you tonight.
Yeah, right. So I feel like this thing's a little down on power. Maybe that it was that battery. Let's check it though. So we're gonna put a fresh battery on here. We're gonna fire up turtle mode on all 4 motors, and we're just gonna listen, and it's gonna tell us with sound if there's one of these motors that's not turning the same RPM as the others. So we're gonna plug it in. Wait for ELRS to connect. We're good. Turtle mode. Arm it, and now 1 motor at a time. Nope. One of the props is definitely banged up, but as you all can hear, the pitch coming from each of the motors is the same, and now it feels a lot better. So that battery was... Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Rocketing into the ceiling. Okay. Yeah, so that lava battery that was on there was kind of hurting. Also, I've been flying whoops with really thin ducts on them for a while now. This has the thick ducts, and it feels like I'm flying through peanut butter, which is a good thing, because that's what makes these more accurate. I do see some vibrations, though, so I bet you I've got a propeller that's banged up as well. Look at this dog's... Look at this, the Splutus Maximus. Oh, man. He knew I was going to run into his fat BBL. So, yeah, this needs a new set of props, but that's all right. I'll do that before it goes out the door. Oh! Just missed it. Go ahead, Kevin.
Jimmy the Cow put teddy bears in chat. Danzilla the Cerebral says, dog tax. Ciotti, you really need to put a camera on Teddy one day when he runs around.
I love that idea. Oh, I got it into the... I got it into the cube, but I couldn't get it out of there. Where's he at? I miss when he used to run around with it. Now he just stands here like a slob.
Danzilla says,
dog.
always neighbors, never neighbors.
Oh, nice. Hey, yo. Whoa. No, don't fall out of my ear. Hold on. Whew. When the AirPod falls out of my ear, it messes with all the settings, and it's just super annoying. All right. Yeah, this thing is rocking. Frame, man, the difference in flight performance between this frame and the Air75 V2 is ridiculous. The Air75 V2 frame, it feels like it's twice as fast. It's just all over the place. It's loose. It's skirting around. It's crazy. This is, man, yeah, this is so much more controllable, so much slower, so much more of like a little scalpel. Both really strong, though.
Danzilla the Terrible says, thick ducks.
Yikes. Yikes.
Do I have a future as an ASMR streamer?
Nope. Maybe.
At least you're honest.
Oh no, you fucking bastard. God damn it. Oh, I hate it. I gotta make a guard for back here. Ooh, it's sitting right up on the top. That's pretty nice. You guys see the dog? The dog doing his thing? Oh, there's... Look at that fucking nose.
All right, let's go.
Look at that nose. He just gets smaller. Oh, shit. I try not to fly it right at him. Boy, he took offense to that. Whoa. Oh, now he's Mr. Tough Stuff. Come on, bro. Chase that shit. I can fly backwards as good as you can chase after it. Yeah, you get it. Don't let it attack my skinny legs, Teddy. Now it's coming after you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, dog? You ain't gonna do shit. Ooh! Oh my god. Oh, I'm inside the thing. That's absolutely outrageous. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get cornered.
Jimmy the Cow's teddy bear button
predicament.
is stuck.
I'm now in a predicament. Teddy, I need you to back off so I can smash through the vagina hole. Teddy! Back off! Teddy, back... Alright, we're going for it. Oh! Nope. We're stuck in the vulva. Teddy, back up! I'm coming! Hey! Holy shit, I can't believe that worked! Where is he? Is he back in his post? He's back in his post. No, I didn't give it quite...
while you're walking.
I'm not gonna say it, but you know I'm upset.
Yep.
The claw has chosen. The claw. What the hell is it? The claw.
I think you can't find it, folks. F's in chat for this battery.
Oh, is it going dead? Oh shit! 3.4.
That was men. It's on 3.76, so you got some time.
Oh, he's pissed. He's pissed. Can you imagine if the 2G4 had black box? Oh my god, that would be so cool. I can't see my battery warnings because of the core temperature. We're done now. Let's do one more. We'll do one more. Oh, that's all I have. I flew 6 batteries earlier today, though. You sons of bitches better have flown your 6 batteries today. Do not go to sleep without doing it, or I'll attack you. I'll know, too. I will know. I will know. I always know. I can feel it. It's a disturbance in the force.
I didn't fly 6 batteries today.
Get go. Get go. Get go.
Capital C says, I am confused about all the different versions of Fat Shark goggles. You're not the only one, bud.
Oh my
I
god.
have a set of HDOs. Where do they rate put up of all the Fat Shark goggles? Are they worth keeping as a backup to my Orcas?
Yeah, the Fat Shark naming convention is about as dumb as it can be.
Abysmal. Especially lately, they have like the HDO 2s and then the new HDO 2s. You know about this?
Right. The well, is it the Plus?
No, I don't think so. I think they just continue to call them the HDO 2s. Let me go look.
That's very weird. Here's what you need to know. HD 3s are probably going to be the best, cheapest option. They don't have OLED screens, but who cares? It's analog. It looks like hell anyway. And then the next cheapest is going to be HDOs. And then the next cheapest is going to be HDO 2s. Between those 3 options, you'll be able to find some used somewhere. And you'll love them. They're great, as long as you don't need DVR.
That's right. It's HDO Plus. And then the HDO 2s became the HDO 2.1s for reasons. Oh,
wow, that's dumb. And the Plus you don't want because there's all kinds of latency.
Yep, that's exactly what Niafu was just saying. I had some original HDOs as backup goggles for a while. They were fine.
Yeah, the OLED screens are really nice, but totally unnecessary. And what's funny is Patrick has HDOs. We were out flying years ago. And for whatever reason, he put my goggles on, I put his on. And he was like, why do your goggles look better than mine? And I was like, why do your goggles not look as good as mine? Like, I don't know, man, like analog on the non-OLED screens, it kind of just looks right, I think. For us, we're old people, though. It might just be us. But HD3s, in my opinion, that's the way to go. You're going to find them the cheapest. They're the same thing. They're the same goggle, it's just different screens. And so, yeah, it's all HD3s for me.
Can't believe they're still using that same stupid DVR.
Unbelievable. They released a new goggle and put the same useless DVR in it. What world are we living in? Like there better be some like hard-coded reason, right? Like the slot inside the goggles or something. There better be a good goddamn reason for that, because that's some bullshit.
You know the reason.
It better not be that.
Money.
It better not be.
I mean, is there another logical reason for them to keep a terrible DVR?
Yeah, there's something. There's got to be something. There's got to be. Because Fat Shark they're great. We love Fat Shark.
Yugen has it right. I think I have to stay with the HD0 for the DVR. Yeah, their DVR is best in class.
Yeah, it really is. Capital C says the Fat Shark DVR is horrid. I mean, it doesn't work most of the time. That's the biggest problem with it. Is it like it'll be flashing away, like, yeah, I'm recording, and then you lose your quad and you go and there's just nothing. There's just nothing there. It's just ridiculous. Closing thoughts, Kevin?
That is exactly why we all have trust issues.
Indeed. Thanks for hanging, everybody. Thanks for hanging, Kevin. The Raxus is ready to go. I'll have some flight footage for you guys. You know what? I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this up in the air for this trip to Florida, and I'm gonna fly this in Florida and get some O3 footage from there, and that'll be cool. We'll compare some O3 Raxus footage to GoPro footage, GoPro Hero 12 footage to O4 Lite footage. Unbelievably, I don't have a single thing put together right now on an O4 Pro. I do. And O4 Pro footage. We'll be able to compare O4 Pro to O3 to GoPro Hero 12 to O4 Lite. That'll be pretty cool. Next week when I get back. Live stream this Wednesday, but then no Friday, no Sunday. Monday night I'll be back. I can't guarantee that we'll look at all that footage on Monday night because I'll have to drive 6 or 7 hours on Monday. So that stream might just be me dead and you staring at a dead body. But on Wednesday or Friday, we'll dive into that. That'll be pretty cool. That'll be pretty cool. Thanks for hanging, friends. CiottiFPV.com if you like these live streams. We'd like to see them continue. I need your help. Do something. Thumbs up. Subscribe. Throw me $3 a month. 10 cents a day. 20 cents a live stream. You know it's worth it. Love you. Bye. I'm not ready. Here's the 1S. 1S 1002 25,000 kV footage from earlier today in the newly pruned garden. What just happened? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Found it. It's so dark in this flight footage. Jesus hell. Hold on. What about this file? How long is this file? This file might be long enough. Same build. Air75 with a motor and frame swap. Wait a second. This is where it was oscillating to the moon, isn't it? Nope. This is good. Love you. Bye.
Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams, yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Bit fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place, yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Shotties on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond at duo kings, barking at the breeze, crawling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, rolling at top speed things, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV.